Giant monsters appear on Earth and start wiping out the entire human population. Can they be stopped? Let's find out, as today on Story Recaps, we will be covering the first 4 episodes of the series Attack on Titan. Over 100 years ago, the Earth faced the arrival of humanoid giants called Titans, who attacked and ate any human on sight. They wreaked havoc everywhere, killing more than 90% of the population on Earth and threatening human extinction. Only a small percentage of people survived after building a tall circular wall around the land. It has since been developed into a 3-walled fort, the outer one named Maria, the middle one Rose, alongside the last and the most protective one named Sina. Not just that, but the outer wall, Maria, consists of 4 forward processions in 4 directions. The protagonist, Eren Jaeger, lives in the southern procession named Shiganshina. Even though it has been a long time since the last Titan attack, the fear of the giant humanoids remains prevalent in people's hearts. Once in a while, a special force goes outside the wall to fight the giants using a piece of special maneuvering equipment. However, every time they return, they come with the news of deaths. Not of the Titans, but of their comrades. One afternoon, Eren and his foster sister, Mikasa, are in the field right next to the wall. Eren jerks up from his sleep because of a horrible nightmare. He and Mikasa have been best friends for as long as they can remember. She asks him to return home before noticing that Eren has been crying in his sleep. Somewhere else in the town, a religious man is shouting at the people, telling them to worship the wall that protects them. Meanwhile, Eren and Mikasa are on their way home after collecting twigs from the forest. Suddenly, they are stopped by a soldier named Hans. A long time ago, Eren's father, Grisha, who was a doctor, saved Hans' family from a plague. Ever since then, he feels indebted to the Jaeger family. He asks Eren what he was crying about, but the kid changes the conversation, asking him if he is drunk. Hans' job is to always be on high alert to protect the city, which is why Eren is mad that he is drinking on the job. For some reason, the kid is paranoid about the Titan attack. The soldiers assure him that the Titans can only scratch the wall from outside, but Eren isn't satisfied by the answer. He wants to go beyond the wall and explore the entire world, and is furious that the villagers are okay with being imprisoned their whole life. He has always wanted to join the Survey Corps because such soldiers are the only people who get to go outside. Suddenly, they hear a loud bell ringing, indicating the return of the survey soldiers from the other side. The village gets ready to welcome them, but as usual, they have returned after failing and sacrificing several of their teammates' lives. An old woman comes forward looking for her son and is handed a decapitated arm, which is the only piece left of him. She breaks down into cries and asks the lead soldier if her son's death helped mankind even in the slightest way. To everyone's surprise, the soldier replies that his death went in vain, like the deaths of hundreds of other soldiers who were devoured by Titans. The leader has seen enough disturbing things to know that he shouldn't give false hope to anyone. Mikasa asks Eren if he still wants to join the Survey Corps, but gets no reply. At home, Eren's father Grisha is packing his bags to go to the inner wall for a medical examination. Upon finding out that he wants to join the Survey Corps next year, his mother panics and refuses to let him do so. Grisha asks Eren the reason he wants to go outside the wall, and Eren claims that he wants to explore the world. Before leaving, Grisha gives him a key and promises to tell him a secret when he returns. Later that day, Eren's mother begs Mikasa to take care of him because he has no sense of self-protection. Mikasa agrees and promises to always be by his side. The two then find their third friend, Armin, being bullied by a group of men. They try to attack Eren as well, but run away after seeing a scary Mikasa. One thing about Armin is that he is extremely self-conscious and doesn't like receiving help from even his friends. The three continue chatting when suddenly a loud explosion from the other side of the wall startles them. To their horror, a massive hand grabs the top of the wall and shakes it violently. Everyone who witnesses the event is horrified because the wall is 50 meters tall, which means the Titan holding it is even taller. Such a giant has never been heard of before, which sends everyone into a frenzy. Before they can comprehend what is going on, it breaks the wall and creates a hole in it. Followed by the giant, several other Titans enter the town and wreak havoc. They pick up and devour every person in their way and destroy all buildings. Eren and Mikasa quickly run to their house only to find his mother under the ruins of their house. They try helping her, but are too weak to do so. The woman orders them to save their lives, begging Eren to do as she says for the last time. Thankfully, they are approached by Hans, but even he cannot save Eren's mother. As the last resort, he picks up the kids and runs towards the opening of the inner wall. Eren retaliates, not wanting to leave his mother, but just then, a giant titan breaks her body in half and eats her. Eren sees all this happening right in front of his eyes. His heart skips a beat as he forgets to breathe. Hans stops a while later when they reach the wall. People are boarding a ship that will lead them inside Wall Maria. Armin is already aboard the ship with his grandfather and is worried about his friends. Eren and Mikasa somehow manage to board it, but hundreds of people are left outside. The Maria gate is about to close when a different-looking titan attacks. The soldiers hit him with cannons, but it does the giant no harm at all. They give up on fighting and quickly board the ship. It sails into the second territory, while simultaneously, the Titans manage to enter the first wall. Eren is regretful that he was arguing with his mother, even in the last moment of her life. In the innermost district, higher officials are discussing what they must do next. As of now, the outer district is completely destroyed, and no rescue mission can be carried out. Hence, they draw all of humanity's domain into Wall Rose and seal it off. A camp is established for the survivors, where they are fed a loaf of bread for a day's worth of meals. Eren falls asleep and dreams of his father injecting him with a drug. He is also told about a key that he must keep safe. When Eren wakes up, he sees that the key is around his neck. Outside, Eren and Mikasa meet Armin, who hands them food. Eren overhears a guard complaining about the refugees and argues with them before being dragged away by his friends. Armin tries to calm him down, but is in turn humiliated by his best friend. Eren calls him a coward and is punched in the face by Mikasa. After a survey, it is found that thousands of people died in the incident, but the ones who are alive suffer as well. Since the outer district was mostly farmland, the food supply runs short, and the refugees are made to farm the wasteland. Eventually, even that doesn't work, and the government has to do something immediately to prevent starvation. They start sending people on survey missions, supposedly to fight and get the outer wall back. However, in reality, the officials already knew the people wouldn't survive. They did it only to reduce the population. And it worked perfectly. The scene cuts to a year later, on the day selection for the training corps starts. Several young people have volunteered to join. The commander is Keith, a strict teacher who values discipline above all. He makes the newbies introduce themselves and tells them that they are mere bait to the Titans, and they will never amount to anything in life. He does so to every batch of trainees because it makes them understand what they should expect in the training. Keith deliberately refrains from saying anything to Eren and the other people who have faced the Titans before. This, because he knows they do not need the lecture to understand the danger they are going to be in. Most of the soldiers have joined the training to be promoted to the military police brigade. During the introduction period, Keith's eyes land on a girl who is enjoying a boiled potato. She introduces herself as Sasha and claims that the potato will get cold if she doesn't eat it now. The girl even dares to give half of the vegetable to Keith. Silence prevails in the camp as everyone waits for the commander's outburst. In the following scene, Sasha is making rounds of the field. She has been doing it for hours as punishment for talking back to the commander. Still, rather than being worried about the punishment, she is afraid that she cannot have dinner at night. When it gets dark, Sasha finally falls down and is helped by a girl named Historia. She has even brought food and water for Sasha and is worried about her even though they just met. They are later approached by the cold-hearted Ymir. She says she wants to help, but only to make Sasha feel indebted so she can use her in the future. The training starts the next day, and the trainees are asked to balance themselves on vertical maneuvering equipment. It is the official set used to fight Titans. It is usually waist-mounted and has grappling hooks that enable mobility in 3 dimensions. Everyone manages to balance easily except Eren, who almost breaks his neck. After the training, he continues practicing but hurts his head instead. At dinner, people make fun of him for boasting about how he will end the entire Titan population when he cannot even complete a simple task. The following day, he goes first with a renewed spirit to prove himself. He jumps and manages to maintain balance for a few seconds before falling yet again. Everyone laughs, but the commander asks him to take off his gear. It turns out that his gear is broken, which is why he couldn't propel himself upwards. But the fact he managed to hold himself for a few seconds with a broken one impresses the trainees. The commander seems to know Eren's father and quietly whispers that his son has become a soldier. The scene cuts to 2 years later. The trains are passing through the woods, but Armin has a hard time carrying a heavy bag and walking at the same time. A fellow kind trainee named Reiner helps him carry the bag, even though it might get them disqualified. The commander notices this, but keeps quiet, because sympathy for a friend is also a virtue a soldier must possess. Still, Armin refuses to make him carry twice the weight just so he can walk faster. When they reach their destination, they are made to attack a dummy Titan. As they perform, the commander makes notes about their strengths and weaknesses. Later, they are asked to practice hand-to-hand combat, which Eren thinks is unnecessary because they cannot fight the Titans by hand. However, Reiner explains that their enemies can be anyone, and a soldier must always be ready. He makes a girl named Annie fight Eren, and she beats him in an instant. When Reiner goes against her, she wins yet again, even though he is twice the size. It turns out that she learned to fight from her father and knows many techniques. At dinner, Eren gets into an argument with Jean, one of his fellow trainees. Jean wants to become a soldier in the innermost district, which Eren thinks is cowardly. When the fight gets physical, Eren protects himself using the trick he learned from Annie. In the next scene, the trainees graduate to become legitimate soldiers. They get 3 options to choose from. First, they can either join the garrison regiment and work to guard the walls from the inside. Second, they can join the Survey Corps, who are responsible to go outside the circle and fight the Titans. The third one is everyone's favorite, Military Police Brigade, the ones who get to stay safely inside the innermost circle. Only the top 10 trainees have the privilege to choose which group they want to join. Eren is also one of them, but unlike the rest, he joins the Survey Corps, as he always wanted to fight Titans. Later, a dinner is held for the graduating trainees. People ask Eren why he wants to choose to survey when he has the option to live the rest of his life in the innermost circle. Eren explains that every time they have been attacked by the Titans, they have learned something new about the beasts. Even if he kills one Titan with his life, he will be happy. If the rest of the group had the same mentality, the Titans would not be a threat to humans anymore. His words touch their hearts, and the next day, more people volunteer to join the Survey Corps. The group then climbs on top of the wall, where they have been assigned a post. Everything seems normal until a loud lightning strikes, and the 60 meters colossal Titan appears on the other side. The team goes silent for a few seconds before the Titan releases steam from its body. The force sends the team off the wall, but they save themselves using the vertical maneuvering equipment. Eren notices the broken gate down below and freezes in shock. The episode ends as he tells his team to get ready for a war.